what is a cell wall? Last class we spoke about cell membrane, the plasma membrane as well. These cell walls are making, right, a structure around it. So first of all, it's very clear for us that plants have cell wall and animals do not have. Pectin has calcium and magnesium. It contains what? It contains calcium and magnesium. Understood? The same cell wall gets deposition of material and then it can be converted into secondary cell wall. How? Let's see. Secondary cell wall is present in young cells. It would be a big problem for them to divide. Right, so they are impermeable to water. Important point, guys, important point. So in hypotonic solution, the cell swells up, the water will come inside, right? In case of plant cell, the cell will not burst. But if it is an animal cell, it will burst open. Why? And these classes are very important for your foundations as well. Hello and welcome to this session. This is Deveeka, once again your biology buddy with you to talk about cell wall. Yes, my dear students, we are discussing the chapter of fundamental units of life, grade 9, and these classes are very important for your foundations as well. Right? So we are not just focusing on CBSE, we are focusing on our major goal, on a broader goal, that is a NEET examination. So my future doctors, let's get started. Here we are talking about cell wall. Now you know we have spoken about plasma membrane and all. So if you have not, please check the playlist, you'll get them all. Right? So they are discussed in very beautiful and depth as much as possible and required by you. Alright, so here we are talking about cell wall. Now what is a cell wall? Last class we spoke about cell membrane, the plasma membrane as well. So what is this cell wall and where is it present? Now we know that this is particularly a plant cell, isn't it? What cell it is? Ye kya hai? This is a plant cell diagram, a typical plant cell diagram. Now what are we seeing over here? There are cell organelles like vacuoles, nucleus and all of those things are there, right? Apart from that, you have a cell membrane. Can you see this? Right, so this is your cell membrane. Yeah, and there is an external covering, an extra covering over there, and this, my dear student, is the cell wall, right? What it is? It is the cell wall. So rest of the organelles, like any other eukaryotic cell, they are present over there. But these are the cell walls. Now, these cell walls are making, right, a structure around it. So it is like a wall over there which is giving a particular structure, contrary to the animal cell that you are seeing over here. Right, so this animal cell has no cell wall, right? So no particular shape. It's kind of oval, polygonal, any kind of shape it will take. It's flexible. There's only in the cell envelope you can see only the plasma membrane, right? No cell wall over here. Cell organelles are present like any other eukaryotic cell would have. Lekin the cell wall is absent. So first of all, it's very clear for us that plants have cell wall and animals do not have. So you and me, we are animals, right? We are animals gifted with consciousness, right? That's what usually my students will say, hey ma'am, you called us animals. Yes dear, we all fall under the kingdom of animal A. So we all are animals. Only difference God has given us is the consciousness, which animals lack in. We do, we eat, we say things, right? It is all with conscious, but otherwise we are animals. So all animals, right? We do not have cell wall. Obviously, for some obvious reason, we need flexibility, right? If cell wall is there, we'll be like, we cannot walk or move like trees. So we have to have this flexibility so that we can locomote and do our daily activities, right? That's why we do not have cell wall over here. Now, what is the other organism that possesses the cell wall? So it's not that only plants have cell wall. The other organisms like your fungi, bacteria, right? Algae, plants again, algae, same, bhai, right? The plant cells, fungi cells, bacterial cells, the blue-green algae cells, All of them have the cell wall present over there, right? But this cell wall is little bit different in composition depending on organism to organism and their needs. Now, the cell wall, which is a rigid covering, it protects this organism, right? Because a bacteria cannot protect itself, right? It has to have it cannot take a shelter somewhere, right? So it has to have its own protection. So they have a cell wall around it. Similar is the case with other organisms as well. Right? This is an yeast cell, unicellular fungi. So it also has a cell wall over here, right? So let's see what is the composition of cell wall in different organism. As I told you, it varies from organism to organism. Now, if we talk about algae first, okay, let's talk about algae. Algae cell wall is made up of cellulose, which is common with the plants, okay? Common with the plants. But in many algae, you will also find another material, right, like galactine. Not only that, it also has manganese or calcium carbonate like minerals, right? So they have different composition. Algae is a vast group of organism. So many species are there, right? So many different types of algae. So cellulose, galactine, manganese and calcium carbonate kind of minerals are also found in their cell wall. If we talk about plants, you know cellulose for sure. It also has hemicellulose and pectin in it, right? Hemicellulose and pectin in it. So all of these are carbohydrates, cellulose carbohydrate, hemicellulose carbohydrates, right? In case of fungi, very interesting, my dear students. In case of fungi, we have chitin. You know what? Let's cross connect and understand, and let's make it more fun to learn and remember. Chitin is also the material which is found in the exoskeleton of insects like cockroaches. Yes, so when you smash a cockroach, you hear that sound, right? That's because of its exoskeleton getting cracked up, and that's chitin. So fungi also has chitin in its cell wall, okay, which is common with the insect exoskeleton. Remember, insect, animal, no cell wall there, but exoskeleton. Yes, so chitin is present. Then in bacterial cells, very important, in bacterial cells, it is made up of peptidoglycan, peptido, protein, glycan, glucose, carbohydrates, right? So peptide and carbohydrates together, peptidoglycan, right? So it is made up of peptidoglycan. Now, if we talk about the cell wall structure in plants, okay, because to study them in plant is very important right now. So we are talking about the structure of cell wall in plant. So if we see the plant cell, you will find that there are 3 layers, like primary wall, right, the middle lamella and the secondary wall, okay. So what all do we have? We have primary wall, the middle lamella and the secondary wall. Now what is the middle lamella? So you have 2 cells, alright. We have 2 cells, adjacent 2 cells. Now understand that middle lamella is the place between these 2 cells. Okay, is the place between these 2 cells. So that is middle lamella. Now let's understand what is primary and what is secondary. Secondary present in all the cells, or is primary present in all kind of cells? Because this is the place from where question can come. Yes, so let's see. So structure of cell wall, first we'll talk about the primary cell wall. Primary cell wall is found in all type of cells, young cells especially. First they have primary cell wall in the plants, right? Now it is composed of what? It is composed of polysaccharide pectin. Now what is pectin, guys? Pectin is such a material, it's a material which will which has calcium and magnesium in it. It has calcium and magnesium in it, and this pectin helps in cell-cell adhesion. Adhesion means chipkana, right? One cell is staying in contact with another with the help of pectin. Otherwise, they all would be like free, right? They'll be moving here and there. But no, in the tissue, you have them all staying together, right? So that is because of this pectin. What does pectin has? Pectin has calcium and magnesium. It contains what? It contains calcium and magnesium. Understood? Okay, fantastic. So what does it help? It helps in cell adhesion, right? It helps in cell adhesion. So it kind of, putting two bricks together, what do we use? We use cement. Pectin is something like that, right? A cementing material. Yes, very important that between two cells, okay, you have something, okay? You have something which will help them right? So if I draw a plant cell wall like this, I've cut the cell only partially. So you will see certain kind of pores over here, right? So they are like channels. Okay, they are like channels, and the adjacent cell wall will also have similar kind of structure on its cell wall. Now, because of this, what can happen, the cytoplasm can be exchanged by these two cells. Yes, the cytoplasm can be exchanged in between these two cells, right? So this cytoplasmic strands from where it is going to move from these pores, okay, the small little channels you can call them, right? These channels are like through and through, okay, they are through and through this it is moving. Now this thing is called as plasmodesmata and singularly plasmodesma. If we are addressing one, then plasmodesma, otherwise all of them are plasmodesmata. So from this, the cytoplasm can be exchanged, right? Now, it facilitates what? It facilitates the transport of proteins and other material, obviously. Now, when cytoplasm is being, exchanged over there, right? It is getting exchanged over there. So, all the material which is mixed in the cytoplasm can also get exchanged, isn't it? Let it be the water, let it be any other mineral, foods, glucose or something, it can get exchanged. But not the organelles, right? Otherwise, you'll say, oh, cytoplasm has organelles, so organelles can also move from one cell to another cell. Kya? No, it cannot happen, right? Aisa nahi hota. Only cytoplasm can move, right? Next. So this is the plasmodesmata, right? So can you see those channels, small little channel over here, right? It has been enlarged for you. So these are the plasmodesmata plural. Fantastic. Now, the secondary cell wall. What is secondary cell wall? Secondary cell wall is not present everywhere and in all the cells of the plant. It is rather seen in the mature cells. So the same primary cell wall is there. The same cell wall gets deposition of material and then it can be converted into secondary cell wall. How? Let's see. So it is a rigid layer inner to the primary cell wall. It starts from the primary cell wall itself. Can you see? This is middle lamella, the gap between two cells. Okay. So this is cell 1, cell wall of cell 1, and this is cell 2, right? So in between there is a gap, and that gap, okay, that gap is the middle lamella. All right, please concentrate. ये क्या है? ये middle lamella है, ठीक है? ये पूरा का पूरा middle lamella है, बीच वाली जगह, the center place. Now on the just outside the middle lamella, what will you have? You will have primary cell wall. Right? You will have primary cell wall. Now, where is secondary cell wall getting created? It is being made in the inner layer or to the primary wall. Inner, but towards the cell. So, this side is the cell components, right? So, it is being made over. I'll take another color so that you can see it properly, right? We'll let the primary cell wall be in blue color, and now this is the secondary cell wall. Can you see? Yeah, This is the secondary cell wall. So where is it getting formed? It is getting formed in the inner side of the primary cell wall. This is the secondary cell wall in this case. Alright? Yes, although both of them are looking green in color. Yes, so this is it. Okay, this is the secondary cell wall. So the cell components are where? The cell components are present in the inner side. So secondary cell wall is being made or formed where? To the inner side of the primary cell wall. Clear? Alright. Now it is present where? It is present in mature cell. It is not present in in younger cells. Why? Because secondary cell walls are very rigid, right? They are so rigid that they are strong, right? So they cannot move much. Not excess of flexibility is present over there. So if secondary cell wall is present in young cells, it would be a big problem for them to divide, right? It would be a big problem to show little bit of flexibility, right? So that's why it is present in the mature part, mature cells. It is formed inside the primary cell wall, right? And what makes it so rigid? That means there must be something extra than the pectin. Yes, very correct. So the process is called as lignification. Depends again, okay? Depends ki secondary cell wall is present where and which type of cell. So many cells will have this deposition of lignin, right? And this lignin is deposited over there by the process of lignification, right? It is called as lignification. Yeah, here. The process is known as lignification, right? Deposition of lignin. It is not in all the cells. Some cells have different composition of secondary cell wall. Many cells have the deposition of suberin, right? Like your Koch cells, their cell wall has a deposition of suberin, S-U-B-E-R-I-N, suberin. Right, so this is also very rigid material and it gives a permanent structure, permanent shape to the cell. Even after the cell is dead, the suberin would still be there, right? That's why Robert Hooke observed only the cell walls and empty cells inside it, right? So they are impermeable to water. Important point, guys, important point, right? Secondary cell wall are impermeable to water, whereas primary cell walls are permeable. They are permeable to everything. Unlike the plasma membrane was semi-permeable, isn't it? This primary cell wall is permeable to everything. Secondary cell wall will then take care. Alright, so now what is the function? By this time we have already discussed many. Let's jot them down so that we can write them off if asked in examination. So cell wall creates framework and give a definite shape. Yes, definitely. Then they give rigidity and mechanical support. Correct? Cell wall gives mechanical strength. Fantastic. And it facilitates all that long body of the tall body of the plants, right? The support, so that it can stand in wind, rain and all the conditions. It is also helping the plant in balancing and maintaining osmotic pressure, guys. Osmotic pressure, right? Osmotic, we have learned again in previous classes. What is osmosis, right? Transport of water molecule from higher concentration to lower concentration via a semi-permeable membrane. So it also regulates through the osmotic pressure. So it doesn't it will not allow the plasma membrane to expand beyond. So if you have seen previous class, please check it out if you have not, okay. Okay, we have talked about hypotonic, isotonic and hypertonic solution. In hypotonic solution, I have told you the trick as well. So check the video. So in hypotonic solution, the cell swells up, the water will come inside, right? In case of plant cell, the cell will not burst But if it is an animal cell, it will burst open. Why? Because cell wall is there over here to protect, and in animal it's absent, right? So here it is actually helping the plant cell to tolerate the osmotic pressure as well. It also protects the protoplasm against the infection. So suberin is kind of, having this property, antibacterial property as well, and it protects for, it is difficult for the bacteria, pathogen also to, penetrate through that hard material. It also helps in transportation of water, minerals over long distances. We have seen those plasmodesmatas, right? So it is actually for movement of water and other molecules and cytoplasm from one cell to another cell, right? So now it's time, my dear student, to challenge ourselves with the question. Can you answer this question? It's a challenge, right? So answer it in the comment box. Let me see. Cell wall is absent in nostoc, aspergillus, mycoplasm or funaria. Can you answer this? Let's see. So let me tell you, funaria, kind of a moss, okay, aspergillus, fungi, nostoc, algae, mycoplasm, kind of a bacteria which lacks the cell wall. So fantastic. If you have given this answer, bravo, correct. Now there's another question for you on your screen. A protoplast in a cell is without cell wall, without plasma membrane, without nucleus, or undergoing division. So what is a protoplast? A protoplast is a cell without cell wall, without plasma membrane, without nucleus, or undergoing division. I guess if you read out I'm sure this is an Olympiad question, but if you read out it, I'm sure it will be easy. I'm not going to answer because I am full confident that you would answer this correctly. Answer this in the chat box. That's the homework for you today. Let me see how many of you can do, and you'll get the answer of the same question in the Telegram channel itself. Alright? So see you there. Thank you. Tata. Bye-bye. Keep learning.